Conservative media viewers, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal. I spoke to some folks from YouTube at Playlist Live this last year here in Orlando, and I made a commitment to trying to sort of speak out a little bit more and helping the YouTube community more with some of my insights, and I'll get to why that might be valuable in a second here. And so this is the first in a series that's going to start doing that. Now, here's the thing. For those that don't know, in this space, in my personal opinion, I bring a lot to the table. First of all, I'd say all of this, everything connected, all the videos in this series, this video, any comments, everything, they're all my personal opinion only, and my brother Paul's joining by phone as well, so it's all of our personal opinion only. I'm not alleging any facts, we're not casting any aspersions, all for entertainment purposes only. Please check disclaimers. So, here's the thing. I've been involved as a professional in media for a long time. I've done major market talk radio, okay, up to I think the number 4, number 5 market, not sure where San Francisco is now. Also have done national television, hosted, I consider us very successful on YouTube. Beyond that, I've also, worked as a venture capitalist. I've worked in Silicon Valley for a long, long time. I've studied media. I've studied businesses, technology companies, the whole 9 yards. So I'm coming at this from many different angles, and I happen to be a super genius as well. I believe I know a lot about what I'm talking about here, and in fact, and Paul will back me up, what's going on now with YouTube and what has gone on with YouTube, I've predicted almost all of this years ahead of time. Paul, is that not true?
Yes, that is true.
Exactly. I mean, laid it out with where it's going to go, why it's going to go this way, what's going to happen, the major media people getting interested, etc., etc., etc. Now, again, you don't have to believe me. That's fine. I have to say this up front too. I'm not going to tell you everything that I think or my opinions on everything. I'm not going to lay all my cards out on the table. So I'm going to give you my opinion to the extent that I feel is reasonable. And let me be clear. I'm not concerned at all about competition from anybody on YouTube. Straight up, I'm not. I'm not worried about any of you YouTubers out there. What I'm trying to do in my competition, if we're successful, and again, we have to execute, we got to do a lot of things, and we have a long way to go, no doubt about it, is, the major media companies. And so, they have certain advantages, we have certain advantages, and I'm not, in my personal opinion, part of our advantages is right here, and I just can't lay the playbook out entirely. I can't do that. So I hope you respect that and I hope you understand that. Whether you believe me or not, or you feel I'm credible or not, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. Listen to what I have to say, and then you figure out, does that make sense to you? Judge what I have to say and go from there. And again, I'm trying to help the YouTube community. That's what this is all about. Here's the first thing I want to talk about in this video. Will YouTube be like or look like TV? Now, this is a sort of a complicated question. And again, this is somewhat like my Ask a Super Genius series, where we take complicated issues, we try to make them as simple and as entertaining and compelling as possible. I'm going to give a high-level gloss on these subjects. Will YouTube look like TV? To me, the answer is no, okay? In that it's almost for sure going to remain a different thing. That doesn't mean that television content won't do well on YouTube and hasn't already done well on YouTube. And that doesn't mean that certain big successful YouTube channels won't feel competition from those big media companies and television-like content or film content coming onto YouTube. I expect some of that, and I think we've seen some of that. Here's the thing about television, as different than YouTube. Television is push media, by and large. There's always exceptions, to the rule and stuff like that. But in general, television is a push technology. What does that mean? Let's say that you're watching a sitcom or something like that on TV. Now they want to put some of that content on YouTube. You can't talk to any of the characters. You could, and etc. etc. So, again, these are not hard rules, but you, in general, you understand what I'm trying to say here. YouTube is different. What does the name itself imply? YouTube, right? Individuals. It's not so much like we have a bunch of studios in LA, studios in New York, and we're going to broadcast everything in the world. It's basically everyone in the world talking to everyone else. So you can have reply videos, you can have collaboration videos, you can have, comments, personal messages, all kinds of different things. And I think, it's almost anything from anywhere. It's a very different thing. Paul, you made this, and I'm going to bring you up on this. I mean, you made this comment. I thought it was a simple comment, but I think it was right. You said something like, you go to YouTube to watch what you can't watch on TV.
That's right. That is the way I view YouTube. Now, as we've talked about, there might be certain exceptions to this rule, at least the rule as we see it, but I agree with that. If I wanted to watch something on television or a television program, I'm much more likely to just turn on the TV and watch it. Whereas on YouTube, I can see things that I'm not going to get on television. I'm not going to get a person that's unknown to people that watch television or whatever that's going to give their take. I'm not going to get certain funny animal type of videos. And that's why I go to YouTube, to find people like that are not on television.
Right. Now, again, there's a lot of stuff I'm just not going to get into right now in these videos. So, again, I hope you respect that and understand where I'm coming from. But let me just say this much. And I've hosted a national TV show. I think I understand TV pretty well. There's certain things that drive particularly a successful national television show. There's certain things that go into that. There's certain things that you need to sustain that. That's different than what can work on YouTube. Also, think about how you watch TV, and think about where you watch TV versus, let's say, YouTube. I can watch YouTube on my mobile device, on my computer, on my television, all kinds of different places. And I can get in and out, see something quick, whatever like that, see something funny, a 15-second clip, 30-second, 1 minute, 5 minutes, this and that, whatever. It's totally fine. If I have a, regular or, low-level HD phone or something like that, and I'm watching, like, let's say a funny cat video, whatever like that, that's totally cool. Different than, hey, I'm willing to spend 3 hours while I'm out and about on my phone to watch a movie, or let alone I'm going to rent the movie and watch it on YouTube and stuff like that. There's just different requirements on that. So for instance, let's say you take a blockbuster movie, $200 million, $300 million budget. It's got all kinds of great effects. That's awesome. Those effects look amazing and sound amazing in a theater, and they may sound amazing, look amazing if you have a huge 1080p HD television in your house with Blu-ray capability and stuff like that. But when you start, shrinking the screen size and lowering the resolution and lowering the audio capability, the advantages that budget, in my personal opinion, gave that film or TV show now become, in my personal opinion, more diminished on those other platforms, whereas with a YouTube video, whatever like that, it's not the same thing. Paul, does that make sense to you?
It does make sense to me, and I will say, sure, there will be some people who they're in transit on maybe a mass commuter thing, such as BART, San Francisco. They've got a long commute. They've got an hour and a half. Maybe they will watch a movie, a short movie. Maybe they'll rent something, whatever. I just personally don't see that being a large occurring thing. I don't think a lot of people are going to do that because, as you said, if you want to watch a movie that you're really interested in or whatever, you want to see it at high quality on a big screen. And so I think that what you said is correct, and that's smaller market. I don't know if there's going to be a big demand for that, and I know that there are steps to kind of educate the public about what YouTube is and what it is not, but I don't think that that's what most people think of when they think of YouTube.
Right, and so my point is, look, I think it's great for YouTube to make efforts to continue to improve content, continue to improve, obviously, the technology platform of YouTube, and they've done a phenomenal job in that, and thank you, YouTube for that. And I think it's great to continue to work to bring on more advertising and all of that. That is fantastic. But let's just say I'm very skeptical that we're going to see, YouTube turn into TV and whether it's pushing 100 channels or 50 channels or 200 channels or whatever it is. Ultimately, I feel like, the marketplace will dictate. People will tell you what they want. And people basically, yes, of course, there's a lot of great channels that people haven't seen, whatever. But in general, particularly if you're dealing with the big media companies, the big brands that are established, in my personal opinion, I think those are a lot easier to find, or people would understand to search for, a big name or a big this and that, whatever, a lot easier than, let's say, like a good YouTube channel or something like that. So that's the thing. Long story short, there's better viewing alternatives for that kind of content, in my personal opinion. At the same time, there's no reason why that content can't, have a good place on YouTube as well. I just feel like the fears that, YouTube's going to turn into that, in my personal opinion, are a little bit overblown. Remember, the strength of YouTube, in my personal opinion, is that you can find what you want there. Being able to find whatever you want from any viewer all around the world is what I feel makes YouTube so good and so unique. It is that ability. If it were to become more of a funneled and focused push, such as there's only so many channels on TV, whatever like that, and sometimes even with all the channels, in my personal opinion, I feel like I can't find what I want to watch, then I think that might start hurting YouTube. So I think, bottom line, I don't expect YouTube to become like TV, and I feel like some content from TV and movies will work on YouTube, and I feel like a lot won't. And so that's kind of my take on that. Paul, do you agree with that? And do you have anything that you wanted to add in closing?
I do agree with that. Again, you can educate the public and the YouTube viewership about what you want YouTube to be and to become. But I think a lot of people go to YouTube for the 5-minute clip that perhaps they would not watch on television, but they'll watch it on their iPad when they're in the passenger seat going to work. And so I do think there is an overlap in the viewership between YouTube and TV, but I think there's also a lot of divergence. So I agree with that. As you said, we love YouTube. We want YouTube to become the best thing that it can possibly be, and expand and become what it wants to be, and go into all forms and etc. But I do think that the core of YouTube is the unknown person that becomes a big success, and people around the world like viewing them, and some of these just the fun videos that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Again, for me, the strength of YouTube is being able to find whatever it is that you want to find, and not having the restrictions of a big studio telling you it's got to be this, like this, or we're going to do this every week, or whatever it is. Again, it's allowing the marketplace to work, if you will. It's millions of people and millions of videos all communicating and evolving, organically in this, marketplace of videos, if you will. That's the power of YouTube. Go ahead, Paul.
I just want to add, and you said this a couple times, but I want to add my thoughts about it. I agree with what you're saying, in that the marketplace, the people, the consumers that make up the marketplace, they will let you know what is working, what is not working,
right,
and what else they want added. And I think we've seen that somewhat already in terms of recent changes to YouTube. And again, the audience will change and will develop and evolve, and so sometimes what they want will change, from now to 6 months from now. But I think that that's an important thing to consider in all of this.
Well, I agree. And look, some of the things that YouTube, has put out there, in my personal opinion, and wants to do, from what I read, and if I'm reading it correctly, in my personal opinion, about trying to extend the viewing times and some of the best practices, that's great. And I think they've come up with some great, best practices and some great, tools and stuff like that, like these creator playbooks. Those are fantastic. And that is just, thank you guys for doing that type of stuff. That doesn't mean that somewhere all these things are going to kind of, a little bit of all this is going to kind of work together, basically. You know what I mean? That, in my personal opinion. So, the one thing I am sure of is that things will continue to change and evolve, no question about it. Do I believe that it's going to be like TV as we know it now, YouTube meaning? No, I don't. Will some TV type elements and some TV content come in and do well on YouTube? Sure, I believe that. Can you still do great on YouTube if you're an individual or if you're with a network, whatever? I absolutely believe you can if you're talented and willing to work hard. So that's where I'm at on that. That's what I think. What do you think about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your comments? Let us know. I'm John D. Villarreal. That is Paul. We are Conservative Media. Please rate this video up. Also, please post to your social networking sites. You can give us the comments below. Please subscribe above. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.